At this time, I'll call the December 16th, 2021 meeting to order for the Dixon County Commission. Would you please stand and join in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On our agenda, we have 3 items to add. The first one will be to have the authorization for 2 new ambulances for 2023 and another one for 2024. The second item is a repair at Chapman Creek Stream Bank at 2650 Avenue. The third item will be that of an executive session. We do have a groundbreaking that takes place at 11:30. So when we finish our second item, we'll go ahead and adjourn, but then we will come back and go back into our meeting at 12:30 for that executive session. And so with that, I would move that we approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second that.
We have the motion and the second. Any question, discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The consent agenda does include the minutes of the December 9th meeting, also fund expenditures of $802,940.60, wires of $8,008, added tax of $2,389.20, abatements of $1,165.92, credit card wires of $18,351.34, utilities of $8,741.98.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have the motion and second for approval of the consent agenda. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go to commission comments. Ron?
I did spend a little time yesterday at Junction City at the detention center. Reports look pretty good, although they're going to play a little caution on the numbers of folks that are going to be serving and be attending there. So they want the counties to be aware that there could be some adjustment in the rates, given that there's been some changes in the financial handling of how they're doing things. So just be prepared. There could be, hopefully we have enough days ahead of time. I think 695 days. They're sitting pretty good here in Dixon County. There's 15 other counties that are participating, but the administrator wanted to make sure that all the counties were aware, because of the numbers that are going to be attending there could change the rates that we're going to be charging. So just heads up.
Okay. Yes, Craig.
Yeah, last Thursday night, I got the opportunity to attend the Dixon County Confidential Corporation. Chuck's be leaving us corporation sometime in the middle of January. He's done an excellent job. We talked about in work sessions, some of the stuff he's accomplished in the 4 years he's been here is pretty amazing. Janelle and I did, well, I guess I was the only one there, but Janelle made a presentation to the Community Foundation for drug court startup money. It was $35,000 approximately. They granted $25,000 to be used for startup money for it. I did attend the KAC monthly meeting in Topeka yesterday. Talk was, well, there'll be a reorganization of there'll be 3 or 4 members going off. Talk about the HR the vote being January 5th by Zoom. Did evaluations of staff, but we've done that. We did Bruce's evaluation yesterday. Anywhere from 8 to 3% salary increases. Jay was the biggest one due to the fact that he's deputy director and general counsel. So we'll be attending by Zoom the North Central Regional Planning Commission, Janelle down at the Sheriff's Department this afternoon. That's all I have this time.
Okay. As Craig had mentioned, Chuck Scott did offer his resignation, and they'll have a search for a new economic development director for Dickinson County. There's many businesses and individuals that support that financially, and also as Dixon County does. But Chuck did stop by this morning and went over just a few things, a master plan that they're working on Harrington Lake, a new restaurant opportunity at Harrington, some of the work that's going on with Highlands, the rural housing incentive development opportunity, a little bit about electric vehicles and some of the chargers that maybe would be involved with some of the changes. And having said that, he has many projects that are in the works, and we certainly thank him for his 4 years of contributing to the economic growth of Dickinson County. There also is staff in place, so there's some good continuity that will take place, and there's good leadership as far as the board of directors. We also had John Holtgren in, and he gave us an update of some of the things that are going on. And statistically, I mean, they're very, very busy with EMS and the health department compared to other years, and gave us a good update, and then also information on the ambulances, which is part of our agenda that we've added. I also received notice that Kathy Mosier, she's the director of the Central Kansas Mental Health, and she's tendered her resignation. She's in a position where she is able to retire, but also wants to spend some time with family. And we certainly will have some sort of a search take place. And then earlier I had mentioned, I think to Chuck, that was he going to stay around till March? And actually it was Kathy in her letter that she's staying through March 14th to assist and help with the transition if it happens to take that long. And so anyway, we're certainly sorry to let her go. Central Kansas Mental Health, Dixon County is one of a group of counties in Central Kansas that are part of that. While they have their main location in Salina, they also have a location here in Abilene, and also reach out to Harrington and really cover this area quite well. So I was sorry to hear that news. And then again, it's one of those, it's a new chapter in her life, and that's, you know, the way things are sometimes too. So, and she's provided great leadership and growth for Central Kansas Mental Health. That's all I have at this time. If there would be anyone that would want to make any public comments, this would be your opportunity to do so if you'll cue us in.
We don't have anybody on.
Okay.
Just me.
Put my glasses on so I could have looked up at that. Okay. We do not have any petitions or proclamations. Go to our report of county officers. Brad?
Okay, you may have noticed in the accounts payables list that there was a bill to Marion County for $13,000. That is the final bill for the inclusion of the Marion County Shared Bridge that we had done, 2 years ago. There was a little bit of engineering and some of the final reporting stuff to the design and engineering firm, I believe, that needed to be split. And so we got that paid, and we should be done completely with that. So renovation contractors meeting was Monday on the courthouse. And I am kind of pleased to say that things are moving along pretty good. We're actually seeing some real light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. We've got all the windows are installed in the building except for one now, and that's in dispatch, or the garage where dispatch temporarily is. And they had actually broke that in the process of putting it in. So they had to go back and I'll have another one cut. But all the windows are in. We're putting the windows up, which would have been the east side of the old jail, which are above the roof of the new facility. now. They were putting those in this week. They should be in by now. The second generator was set late last week. It did come in early, so we were glad to see that. It wasn't scheduled to be here till after the first of the year, which had us a little concerned. But it was set, I think it was Thursday or Friday last week. And the electricians have worked this week in getting it wired up. So we should have it ready to go when we're ready to move in there and have backup power. The casework people, the finish workers were here this week, working on the big courtroom, getting the bench and the jury box partition set and the finish on that, so it'll be ready to sting. Things were looking really good in there. Painters are working in the small courtroom to start painting the walls that just were finished sheetrock, and they're doing door frames and stuff on second in the basement, doing the final touches on that. We've got carpet scheduled to start on the second floor next week, as well as down in the dispatch area. Excuse me, so that we're ready to move dispatch in. The tile setters were supposed to be here yesterday to start doing finishing the bathrooms on second. And then Tom was going to have them start in the entryway from where the sheriff's department is now down to the main doors. If you were to walk in now, you know, we had a temporary door right around the corner from where dispatch is. That's been taken out now. And so it's open down to where the final doors would go, which would be just right north of the elevator, kind of where they were before. But we'll be able to close those doors and lock the courthouse off at 5 so that people coming into jail or visitation on weekends, the jail can't get in and meander through the rest of the courthouse. So those doors are in and the others were taken out. And so the tile setters will get the floor tile, start moving down through the courthouse with that. So we had been claiming that we had been having water softener problems. Well, not problems. We've never had soft water since we moved in. And I know Tom had called them several times and they'd been out and looked at it. And we still didn't have soft water. Well, they sent a technician out of Wichita Monday afternoon. A gentleman came out, went through it. We actually went in and he showed us what he found. There was programming that was not done right. And so we think that we solved that problem. We do have a water softener that softens water for the whole facility, courthouse, jail, and everything. So not only will that give us better quality water, but it'll help prolong all of our faucets and fixtures and everything else. And we think we've got that solved once and for all. So, and it's just simply had to do with the programming. Ceiling and carpet are going to be installed and dispatched next week. And we got some overhead cabinets we're still waiting on. They should arrive in there. Other than that, we've got one window in the basement at the dispatch office, which is the only one in the whole building that has the ability to open. And it is supposed to be installed, hopefully was installed yesterday or today. And that gives them the ability, if there is a disaster, a fire or a tornado or something where they can't get out of the normal building, they can get out that door or out that window and go out. We've always had it that way. So other than that, things are progressing well. If you drive by, you'll notice the yard's starting to look back to normal. The landscapers have been working very diligently. Around the west end is really where it's most noticeable now. We're so used to seeing all that construction stuff sitting around and the sidewalk's been taken out that used to go into west doors, and now they've got all the dirt leveled off. We are waiting. You'll see some flags out there for, I think it's Boyd's to come in and dig up and replace the 2 underground drains that come off the roof to dump them into the underground storm drainage on Buckeye. And once that's done, they'll be able to finish all that off. But things are getting cleaned up outside. We did have a little disaster yesterday that we've got 2 Johnny on the spots on the site there for contractors. One of them got blown over in the storm. And so I don't think anybody was inside it. That's a good thing. But I said, Houston, we've got a problem here. So other than that, things are going well there. And so we're still targeting January, the end of January to move dispatch. Shortly thereafter, I'm planning on moving other people. They may be moving around people finishing up work, but hopefully we'll keep that schedule. I give you the payroll calendar and the holiday calendars for 2022. so that you have an opportunity in the next couple of weeks to review those. They will also be included on in the reappointment that we'll do on the 8th of January. I also gave you the listing of for reappointments at that time that you can review in case there's anything in there that you want changed. I can change it on the resolution before that point. But I think most of them are pretty standard appointments that we do every year. Oh, yeah. Schedule.
Yeah.
You've also got the schedule for the color piece in there, the schedule for the Roy Builders gave us, which basically shows in detail by each floor where we're at in the process of the renovation. And as you can see that middle of February is kind of where they're looking to have the last of the work done. So if that holds true, we'll be in pretty good shape. Now, you also notice on there that you don't say anything about the elevator.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, do you?
It
Okay.
says December 24th can be done
Okay.
or early finish.
Yeah, right.
It's got the 20, yeah, no, it doesn't have anything when it's going to be done.
Yeah, I think that's pretty open-ended at this point. So they have been communicating with them, telling them that they're waiting on the engineers, the manufacturers to tell them when the hardware will be shipped. So I think if anything, they know that we're pretty serious about needing to get that done. So, but that one's going to be as I've said for months now, that's going to be the one that's going to cause us problems. So, and it may work out fine. We've had it pretty lucky so far. Storm yesterday, as you know, we had a little bit of a storm yesterday. And we're still surveying the damage. I know Chancey's was out late last night and has been out all day today. Appears we've got more damage with some of our stuff with the news we just got on the sign. Dispatch, as you can imagine, was extremely busy from about 4 o'clock till 8 last night. Not only were they busy with the calls in our county, but shortly after the storm hit Salina, about 3:45 or so, apparently a big tree fell over and took out all the data lines going into the Salina Police Department where their dispatch is. And so they lost all phones. Well, they're our backup if we lose everything, well, guess who's their backup is? So we ended up handling all of Salina's calls from 4 o'clock till 8 o'clock. In that period, Emily said they had 549 phone calls, which averages about 3 a minute. And you can imagine it taking a call and, there's 2 of them in there and probably had 3 of them in there at the time. So each one of you is on the phone with a person each minute and going, you can't get much information in a minute by the time you pick up the phone and that stuff. But they did a good job. In the midst of all that, of course, we had a tornado warning for the eastern side of the county. So they were setting off tornado sirens at Chapman. We had multiple, I don't know how many calls we had that they dispatched out arcing power lines. And we had a couple or several fires. We had people calling in one after the other reporting smoke. They could smell smoke until we found out everybody can smell smoke because Kansas is covered with smoke. So kudos to them. They did a good job and were able to stay on top of everything. And those are the kind of shifts that, at the time it's a challenge to them and they thrive, but afterwards they just kind of go, and they're just completely emotionally drained. So my hat's off to the gals that were working last night. So.
And I think about how Saline County has different landmarks than we do and descriptions where even if someone's giving vague information, at least if they say Harrington, I mean, and
right.
There, if you start saying it's Freeport or Asari or
Crawford and Ninth or, whatever, yeah. And then to top it off, whenever you take one of their calls, they have to turn around and somehow communicate it over to them. So that's tying them up as well as handling our calls. So to say it doubles their call load is probably not accurate. It probably quadruples their call load. So, but that's why we have those mechanisms and those agreements in place. So when that worst case scenario happens, we don't shut down and you get a busy signal when you dial 911 or dial the non-emergency line. That somebody answers and can handle the call for you. And we very much appreciate Slide working with us on that. They'll cover us and we'll cover them. Doug was obviously he's not here today. He had an appointment, couldn't be here. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention was Sherry tells me the go-to webinar link for the video will actually change after the 1st of January. She has notified everybody that is subscribed to the link, but if you have it on your computer as a shortcut or something, you may need to change it. It's an update from the go-to webinar company, and so should continue to function as normal, but other than that, the link will change. That's all I've got.
Okay, and as you mentioned, Doug is not here, so, and I know he always communicates to you, Brad, if he has something specific. Notices and communications, we really do not have a lot. We did have from BG Consultants, a Christmas card, and then also from Goldberg's, and it appears that he sent something to some vitamins, butter toffee.
190 calories.
Yes, so anyway, mostly sugar. Oh, there is some iron, 4% of your iron.
No calories.
I think the top half, no calories, bottom.
All settled.
Okay. That's all. Anybody else have anything in particular? Everything. We'll go ahead and move on. We did not have any resolutions. We did have a couple of items we added to the agenda. And the first one is the authorization of 2 new ambulances, one for the end of 2023, one for 2024. And Brad, you have the contract on that. If you'd want to kind of comment what that involves and the purpose of doing this in advance.
Yeah, we'd like to approve the proposal from Osage Ambulance Services to get us in the queue for 23 and 24 timeframe ambulances. Simply, like we said in the work session, because they are so far behind now, and people are ordering them in advance, that the only way we're going to get them in the timeframe that we need to get them, which is the end of 23 and sometime in early 24, is to order them now. And so there's no money being spent at this point. We're simply putting our name in and committing ourselves to wanting to secure those orders in place for that time frame. The total for that, based on the proposal they gave us, is $594,326. And that gives us a $2,000 discount for purchasing 2 trucks at the multi-truck order, even though they're different times.
And based on the bid process we had before, that's a competitive and reasonable price.
I move we authorize the order of 2 new ambulances.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have the motion and the second to authorize 2 new ambulances. One is for the end of 2023, the other 2024. Any other comment or question? As Brad pointed out, the dollar amount we're looking at is $594,326. But also we do not have to make that expenditure or cut the check until we're in those specific years. Any other question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item we have is regarding a repair on the Chapman Creek Stream Bank. That's at 2650 Avenue. So is that riprap mainly, or Brad, go ahead and.
Yeah, it's repairing the stream bank with and placing riprap to prevent it from eroding again. We did this a number of years ago on the other side of the bank and had Blix Construction do that. This time it is eroded on the opposite side, and to save that bridge, which is a very expensive bridge, we need to secure that stream bank and repair it so they won't erode anymore. Martin has gotten a bid from Ebert Construction simply because they're already working on Rain Road and they're here. And the mobilization is very minimal, so it saves us a little money. The grand total to have them do that is $33,168. That's with us supplying the hauling the riprap. So there'll be probably another $15,000 or $20,000 worth of material, but we will haul that. And that way we can get it at our price as opposed to paying retail.
I remember right, the other side we did on the east side was around 80,000.
80?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, or more than that.
Yeah, so
But the biggest thing is took more rock because it was farther back to the north into the.
Yeah. And so we are saving a considerable amount of money by having them already here. So I'm taking advantage of that.
I'll make that motion to purchase that riprap.
Second.
Okay, we have the motion for the purchase of having that done and using some of our materials also. But this is to repair the Chapman Creek stream bank at 2650 Avenue. Any other discussion or question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. You know, I often think driving down the road, you go over all these bridges and you just assume everything's in great shape. There's a lot of maintenance involved. So, okay, as we mentioned earlier, we do have an executive session that's going to come up. What we're going to do is adjourn at this time. I would make that motion, and then we will reconvene here at 12:30 for an executive session.
So move.
I'll second it.
Got the motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.